All right, so in this video I have probably the fastest Nike by You I've ever received after designing and like submitting my order. This literally came to me 6 days after I ordered it, which is like, how does that even happen? I think it actually came from China as well, which is, again, I'm just baffled. But anyway, which way, we have a Nike by You, and this is a new model, and it says Nike by James on it. Always appreciate that. Let's go ahead and show you guys what we have here. This is what I designed, and I think it looks really pretty dope. So here's the inside paper right here, letting me know it's a one of one that I created. Throw that back in there. So what we have here is a Nike React Infinity Run Flyknit 3, if that's what you call it. I'm probably the only one that still just calls it like the Nike Infinity React. If you guys actually want to design your own colorway, check the link in the description. It will take you over to Nike and you can design your own. They're $180 right now, but the reason why I wanted to design them is because well, there's two reasons. Like, one, they're not available as of me recording this video on Nike.com yet. They're coming soon, but it actually hasn't released yet. But I thought maybe, just maybe, I could order them ahead of time and I might get them in time to be able to do a review on them before they actually release just generally. And actually I ended up getting them before, at least at the time of the video, again, before they ended up releasing. So that was a good thing. The other thing is they have some updated traction on the bottom of the shoe that you can actually get. This is the Storm Tread that I ordered. And so it's 160, I think, retail. This one's 180 to design your own colorway and then get the Storm Tread on the bottom. For me, I was like, okay, like I definitely want the Storm Tread, especially living in Oregon. It's slippery outside constantly. So for the extra $20 upcharge of the design process and then having the tread was a no-brainer for me. Happy that I made the choice. The other thing that I really like is just this really, really crazy iridescent like collar around the shoe. Like, it's so wild looking. I really like that. I was worried that it was going to clash with the gold accents a little bit too much, but honestly I think it looks pretty good with that and the gold for the Nike swoosh on the sides of the shoe. I went with kind of like an Oreo uppers, so it's a black and white Flyknit material, which it looks better in hand, I think, than on the pictures. At least when you're up close to it and stuff, it kind of is all merged together better. When I was looking at the pictures, it looked like it was segmented too much, I guess. But in hand and as you're moving around, it like kind of blends together. So I like that. I also went with a black collar around the shoe and a black liner. And I think the tongue is actually integrated the same as the upper of the shoe. So I don't remember if I had a choice for that or not, but I like the black and the white variation through the shoe. I think it looks great. So it's a real simple addition of just the gold and then this crazy iridescent thing around the side that make these really stand out and look kind of fancy, I guess, comparison to the regular pair. The midsole I was interested in to see if it's the same as the 1 and the 2. And then the outsole, again, was the big wow factor. And for me, definitely worth it with the Storm Tread. Now, I reached out to you guys on Twitter and asked, was this option available on the V2s? And I did get a reply back from Caleb. Thank you so much for doing that. He has an ID pair from the second version, and it did have the Storm Tread as well. So I think, and again, correct me in the comment section, is the Storm Tread available only for the ID versions, not for the regular standard versions? If that's the case, then I think that the ID version has a really nice, strong upper hand. 20 bucks premium for me for premium tread is a really nice option, especially on a model that I really like. So now that I have the new version in hand, I wanted to kind of compare it to the previous version, the V2, and let you guys know of a couple of the different changes that I see between the two, and then let you know some of the things that I like and I dislike about the newest version. So obviously I just covered one of the major ones is the outsole traction of the shoe, much improved with the Storm Tread. You also do have the option for some Waffle Lugs as well. I chose the Storm Tread because I liked the little green triangle right here. It looked cool, but on top of that, it does add a little bit of extra grip in the rain, which is a big plus. Another difference, and probably the one thing that I don't like about this new model, is the tongue. The tongue is like big and puffy, but it sticks out like this. Like, unfortunately, the way that the shape is, it's like extra padding and more padding than on the 2. And the 2 had that problem too, where it sticks out a little bit weird. I was like, that's kind of weird why they would do that. And then this version, it does the same thing. It sticks out, and then, you know, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're sliding the shoe on, especially for like a wider footer like myself, across the top of the shoe, like right up here, it's like I need this extra room right here to get my foot in the shoe. But when you push into it and then put on the shoe, then it leaves the protruding tongue that sticks out like this, and it's not a good look. And then you have to sit there and then tuck the tongue back in and then make it look normal again. And of course, some people are gonna be like, well, it's not that big of a deal, don't be lazy. totally get you, but it's happened a couple times where I've just no hands put on this shoe here, but it's kind of a nuisance when it just sticks out and then you have to go down and adjust it. I mean, I don't know, it's just a small nitpick, really small nitpick in my opinion, but it's something that it's worth noting at least, because some people are going to have that same thing of, gosh darn it, like, why does it do that? Like, I have lots of other shoes that have lots of other cool things and are super comfortable as well, but they don't have like an overly like pillowed tongue that just sticks out all weird. Enough about that, but that's one of the changes. They also do have a lace toggle option, which I actually kind of dig. It's nice to be able to loosen your laces as much as you can right here with just a toggle. I think it looks kind of nice like this. I don't have to do anything with the laces. I can just kind of slide the foot in with the exception of the tongue that sticks out. It's nice to be able to slide the shoe on and not worry about laces that get unlaced. That being said, I'm not sure if you have a really small ankle, if you tighten this all the way down, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to let the hook right here actually hook on, and then if it's going to fit snug or not. I mean, you guys will have to let me know if it's actually functionally working for you or not, especially from like a runner's perspective, since obviously this is primarily a running shoe and I'm only reviewing this from a casual. The next change is the rubberized like heel counter back here. At least on the colorway that I had, it's rubberized. On this version, the one that I ID'd, it's like a hard plastic. And honestly, this is a little bit like jagged at the top back here. But the main reason why I'm calling it out is not because of the material choices and the differences there. It's because of the curvature of it. So they did add a little bit of style to the shoe by adding a little bit of wave action right around the shoe. It doesn't have such a harsh line on it anymore. And since you have such a curvy midsole and outsole anyway, like I think it adds a nice little flow to the shoe. So it's a nice little improvement. The next change, and one that some people might love, some people might hate, is they took away the heel pull tab on the back of the shoe. It was there on the 1s, it was there on the 2s, so no more pull tab on the 3s. Also on the 3, there is a fused material that goes around the heel of the shoe in a decorative design with a bunch of circles. It doesn't feel like it adds anything to the shoe because there is kind of a hard like under layer of the heel cup anyway, but it's something to note that they kind of changed that a little bit. And lastly, another small detail, but honestly one simple thing that I like is they added a little mini swoosh right here underneath the outline of the swoosh. For somebody that likes Nike, it's just nice to have like a little logo there. Probably the last thing that I would mention though is the overall knit upper. It doesn't feel as breathable as the V2 or the V1, so that may be problematic to some people. That's not to say that it's not breathable. I basically did a test by putting my hand inside all of the shoes and then breathing into the shoe to see if I could feel my breath through the shoe. And unfortunately, the knit of this one is just a little bit thicker, I think, so it wasn't quite as breathable as the previous 2 versions. But that being said, it could be a durability plus because it is a little bit thicker than the previous 2 as well. So silver lining potentially there. It would be one of those things long term after you've worn these for a long time if it will cause any issues or not. But I don't think it's, again, not breathable. It's just not as breathable as the previous. So those are some of the changes, some of the things that I still really love about this model. And it didn't really change much from the 1, 2, or 3. It's something that's maintained consistent because the midsole and the outsole, unless you actually end up changing the outsole like I did on this one, but it's basically the same midsole and outsole in all 3 versions. So because of that, you get great comfort in the bottom of the shoe. In my opinion, it has a great use of Nike React technology. Some models of Nike React don't feel as good. This is one of those models that I always really liked. I've always said this from the first one on, but you can actually feel the React quite a bit in the forefoot as well. Now I wanted to throw this out there also, if you are wanting something that's more max cushion than what this offers and you need more squishy feel under feet, the Invincible Run is definitely the way to go, and I'll link that in the description as well. That shoe is unbelievably like squishy and like comfortable. So that one is way more like squish than this one, but this one has a really great feel and a great all-around pair of sneakers for everything, day-to-day use as well as gym and running. I do like it has a wide base around the toes as well, so it gives you a little bit of extra flex in your toe area. At least for myself, I like that this toe box area is really big. I think that there's actually really nice stability on this shoe as well because of the heel counter and the width of the back end of the shoe being so wide. Like the stability has never been an issue for myself on this model. As for the overall weight of the shoe, it doesn't keep increasing, unfortunately. The V1 is 9.8 ounces, the V2 is 10.3 ounces, and the V3 is 11.5 ounces, but again, it does have the additional traction of the shoe. So for me, giving up a couple ounces for better traction overall on this model is definitely a plus for myself. So happy with that. I wouldn't change that for anything. I think overall this is a great new model, but is it really a big advancement over the previous version? In my opinion, I mean, not really. I mean, this is a great model for the price point, especially now that the new one's coming. Expect this one to go under $100. So with that being said, I mean, that's a great deal under $100. This one being $160 or $180 if you design your own. You're definitely paying for the latest and greatest versions of something, which It's something that I like to do because I am an early adopter of products for the most part. If you're not and you're more of like a bargain person, like definitely get the previous version because it's the same outsole, midsole. But leave a comment, let me know what you guys think about the new Infinity Reacts, as I'm going to be calling them still. And I appreciate y'all for stopping by and watching. If you guys did like the video and it was informative to you guys, please drop a like on the video. Much appreciated when you guys do that. If you guys want to buy a pair, again, check the links in the description of the video. It will take you over to Nike and you can design your own. Have a good rest of the day, and hopefully we'll see you back for some more content. All right, peace guys.